Okay, a time or a place. Likewise, if you take a place and you continually visit that place, this place becomes an Eid for you. You continually visit this place, it becomes an Eid for you. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is basically warning the Ummah against taking his grave as an object that you continually visit. Don't go to his grave all the time. Don't take his grave and visit it at specific intervals. Also, don't take his grave as a place of visit. And this shows you, and also the Prophet ﷺ said, pray upon me, for the prayer that you give upon me reaches me no matter wherever you are. So the Prophet ﷺ is then advising the believers that don't think that if you come to my grave, you will have some special status when it comes to sending your salams upon me. Don't think that just because you're standing 3 meters from my grave, in front of my grave, I will have or you will have any special status. Rather, the Prophet ﷺ said, no matter wherever you are on the face of this earth, your salat reaches me. When you say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, no matter what form or manner or fashion you say it in, the angels will take your statement and convey it to the Prophet ﷺ. Whether you are standing 3 meters in front of his grave, or you are standing 300,000 kilometers away from his grave, it doesn't matter. Allah's angels will come and inform the Prophet ﷺ that you sent his peace and blessings upon him. And this is proven in the next narration, in which Ali ibn al-Husayn. Who is Ali ibn al-Husayn? So he is the great-grandson of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Okay? What is his title, by the way? Who knows? Zainul Abidin. And this is one of the figures that the Shi'as take as their 12 Imams. And this narration shows you that he himself was upon pure Tawheed. He was not upon the shirk that the Shi'as of today are upon. Okay? Because, by the way, the Shi'as, they worship the graves of their Imams. And I have seen this with my own 2 eyes almost every day in Medina. When you pass by the Baqi' graveyard, you know that certain of the Prophet's progeny, amongst them Ali ibn al-Husayn, I believe, he is also buried in Baqi'. And you find that the Shi'as, they actually face the grave and they make du'as to this grave and they physically worship these graves. Okay? And we find that Ali ibn al-Husayn himself, this narration shows that he was upon pure Tawheed, like we mentioned over and over again, that these Imams that the Shi'as exalt and venerate, they are free of the Shi'as and they have nothing to do with these Shi'as. So Ali ibn al-Husayn, he used to see a person come to the Prophet's grave and there would be a gap close to the Prophet's grave that would make him come closer to that grave. So he would enter into that gap and he would make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So he forbade him from doing that. He said, don't do that. He forbade him from doing this. And then he instructed him from something which is better. He said, should I not inform you? Should I not tell you something that I heard from my father? Who is his father? Hussein, the grandson. Who narrated from my grandfather. Who is his grandfather? No. Ali. Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. So Ali's father is Hussein, the grandson. And Ali's grandfather is also Ali. Right? Because look, Hussein, his father's name is Ali. He also named his son Ali. Okay? So Ali ibn al-Husayn, his father is Hussein. And his grandfather is Ali ibn Abi Talib. In other words, the Prophet's cousin and the husband of Fatima. Okay? He said, should I not inform you something that my father, meaning Hussein, narrated from my grandfather, meaning Ali ibn Abi Talib, from the Prophet ﷺ, once again showing you that the isnad system was used very early in history. Okay? Not like the Orientalists claim and many of the quote-unquote modernist Muslims that Bukhari was the first to record hadith. No. Look at this person, Ali ibn Hussein, he's narrating an isnad right in his time. And Ali ibn Hussein died in the 1st century of the Hijrah. So he's saying, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? The Prophet said, don't take my qabr as an Eid. So this shows you that he understood the meaning of the word Eid. An Eid is a place or a time that you continually go back to. You continually visit. So because this man would continually go to this gap inside the Prophet's house, and he would try to get inside the Prophet's house and make a dua, he understood the meaning of the word Eid. And he said that the Prophet ﷺ forbade that you take his qabr as a continual place of visit. That you go back to this grave over and over again. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, do not take your houses as graves. We already interpreted this phrase, right? We said it has 2 interpretations, which everyone understands. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that because, or فَإِنَّ تَسْلِيمَكُمْ, that whenever you give your salam upon me, it will reach me no matter wherever you are. If you are in the furthest jungles of Africa, if you are in Australia, if you are even in Medina next to the Prophet's grave, it doesn't matter. The status is the same. The Prophet cannot hear you. He is now in the life of the barzakh. He is alive, a different type of life. He is not alive the type of life that we are living. So he cannot hear you. No matter how loud you scream, even if you were to stand right at the Prophet's grave, he could not hear you. Rather, the angels take your salam and they send it and they inform the Prophet ﷺ that so-and-so has sent his salam upon you. And this is shown in another narration in which another of the Prophet's progeny, not Ali ibn Hussein, I don't remember who, he said that it doesn't matter if you were to stand at Andalus, at Spain, or you were to stand in front of the Prophet's grave, you are the same. It is the same as if you are standing in Spain. Why did he mention Spain, by the way? Spain was the furthest area of earth that was known to them at the time. They hadn't, obviously, they didn't know of the American continent, right? So Spain was the furthest that they knew. So he's giving an example. He's saying, if you were to stand at Spain, Andalus, or you were to stand right in front of the Prophet's grave, it's the same. It doesn't matter, it's the same. The Prophet's not going to hear you directly. The angel is going to inform him. So if the angel is going to inform him, what particular benefit do you have if you stand at the grave or you stand at Spain? No benefit. The angel is going to come and inform the Prophet ﷺ that you gave his salam upon him. Now, I have the book at home, I can look it up for you. I don't remember offhand. It is definitely authentic. Shaykh Albani makes it authentic. It's authentic narration. Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Abi Talib, ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, excuse me. Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Zainul Abidin. Zainul Abidin. Okay? It means the crown, or the Zain is the beauty, if you like, the beauty of the worshippers. In other words, because he worshipped Allah so much, they gave him this title, is that he is the beauty or the crown or the shining glory of the worshippers. That he is the one that he surpassed all other worshippers of Allah because of his worship. And of course, the Prophet's progeny, they have a special status in the sense that because of the fact that they're related to the Prophet ﷺ, we have to respect them more. But we don't go to the level that the Shias do and give them attributes of divinity or claim that they are better than the other Sahaba. No. We mention over and over again, the greatest of the companions is Abu Bakr, and then Umar, and then Uthman, and then Ali, and then the 10 Mubashirin bil Jannah, the 10 that were given the tidings of Jannah, and then the people of Badr, and the Sahaba, they have their various categories. طيب. Now, a very important question that arises is that is it allowed to visit the Prophet's grave? What is the answer to this? It is allowed to visit the Prophet's grave, right? Because obviously all graves are allowed to visit, okay? But the point is, when we go to that grave, we have to visit it according to the proper Islamic manners, okay? So just like Allah's curse is upon those people that worship Allah at a grave, right? Just like Allah's curse is upon those people that worship Allah at a grave, likewise we should understand when we go to the Prophet's grave, we are not allowed to worship the Prophet's grave. We are not allowed to direct any of our acts of worship to the Prophet's grave. Okay, so the ulama say that when you go to the Prophet's grave, if you are going to make a dua to the Prophet or to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you should turn away from the grave. You realize that when you visit the Prophet's grave, you have to turn your back to the Qibla, right? You understand, when you say salam to the Prophet, you have to turn your back to the Qibla. So the ulama say that it is allowed to say salam with your back to the Qibla, but if you're going to make a dua, turn around. Don't face the grave and make a dua. And this is something that all of the ulama of the madhahib, they say, that don't make a dua facing the grave. Turn around and make a dua to Allah. Even if you're making a dua to Allah, don't face the grave, because people might think that you're making a dua to the grave. And this is minor shirk. Okay? Likewise, another point is that it is not allowed to undertake a journey with the intention of visiting the Prophet's grave. In other words, you're going to leave America to visit Medina, okay? I think the recording has stopped for a while. Continue? Okay. In other words, it is not allowed to leave America or leave Mecca or leave any city or country with the intention of visiting the Prophet's grave. This is a type of minor shirk.